And other than this, hello YouTube, and let's watch Path of Exile 2 fully explained.
Alright, so yes, I was flown out to LA to go hands-on with Path of Exile 2, and I have returned
Okay?
with hours and hours of brand new gameplay and all new details from game director Jonathan Rogers. That's what we're going to be taking a look at in this video. We're talking about the extensive in-game system, going over pretty much all of it, the Ascendancy class system, what it's like at max level
Oh,
and beyond, a tease at some
let's
of the
learn
in-game
something
gear that
together,
you can
guys.
acquire, a super detailed look at basically every system in the game, early access details, and yes, you can get access to this game starting at $30, which is absolutely
Yeah,
insane to me. More on the new game plus type system related to
I think for
replaying the
$30,
campaign. You
it's
guys are
it's
about
uh,
to
it's
also
fine.
see how the
Especially,
actual map system works in the in-game. It's pretty cool.
I think for 30, I think for $30 is actually absolutely fine. Especially if you consider that the game overall is going to be like free to play, you know, and the character is going to be wiped. But well, not wiped, but the character is going to go into hybrid to get a new character. Nevertheless, you have to think about this. You're actually going to get a huge um advantage because you learn the game and then you like play it faster. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Looks
And
like full
also, now
dopamine
this
with
game is going to be
Flicker
starting
Strike.
out
I,
massive, but will
I love the
also be
visuals.
growing in
They're
size from early
amazing.
access until official launch. We're taking a look at some cool
And the
boss
early
battles,
access is
classes,
going to
so
have
much stuff. But by the way,
so
I
much
am doing
content.
a Path of Exile 2 giveaway. So for a chance to win early access,
Oh,
see the link in the
well,
pinned top comment. Check it out.
oh, I
But we're
haven't
going to
bought
go
the
ahead
game yet.
and
I
see
have to
what
do this as well.
Jonathan Rogers has to say. This is a very big presentation. By
I
the
have
way,
to wait until
a
December
very
1st.
special thank you goes out to Grinding Gear Games for their professionalism and providing me with all of this footage, the full-blown presentation for you guys. And remember, I have returned with my own recorded gameplay, so look out for that in the very near future. So yeah, here we go. This is super impressive. Enjoy.
Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to go through
Okay.
the character classes that you can going to be playing in early access.
Did
And while
anyone
we're
watch
doing
this
that, we're going
already?
to explain the different ways that you have to develop your character. Now, as I said before, I like to keep things pretty casual. This isn't some kind of hyper-polished presentation. And Octavian, who's playing, is going to be using cheats and so on. So, you know, he might have to die and revive, but hopefully it goes okay.
Huh.
So we're going to start off with the monk. So the monk is a fast melee fighter. He cares a lot about momentum in combat.
So who of you is going to play Monk?
Now, he does a lot of damage, but he isn't necessarily that strong physically in terms of defenses. So he can stay back and you know, go into and out of combat very quickly.
Oh,
Like
so
all classes,
he's
the
a little
monk
bit
is gonna want to
squishy.
mix and match a few different combos. And one of the things we really like to do with our skills is make sure that we've got a lot of things that can take advantage of different situations.
I have
In
to
this
admit,
particular case,
they're running a little bit sort. Oh my god! I mean, it's such a long video. I mean, this is just some small details, but they walking like a little bit clunky.
like to do with our skills is make sure that we've got
You see this? Oh my god! I saw nitpicking. Oh god! I should probably just watch and don't say anything. But it's something that I see.
going to want to mix and match a few different combos.
Like
And one of
he's
the things
running
we really like to
towards.
do with our skills is
Look,
make sure that we've got a lot of things that can
the
take advantage of
animation's a
different
little bit off,
situations.
but
In this particular
that's
case,
something that
Octavian
is
freezes
completely
monsters
fine.
with,
It's going to
the
be
Wave of Frost, and then
that's
uses
just
the
fine
Glacial
tuning.
Cascade to kill them if he hits the thing. If the end of the Glacial Cascade hits the monster,
Yeah, it's probably because you can use VASD. Wow. Yeah.
it's frozen, then it
Okay.
will do a
Should be
KO
shame
damage
would
and,
not
you know,
play
will
Monk.
do a lot of damage. Now the monk also has a lot of combo skills.
Yeah,
and
the
we're gonna
animation
also hit bosses using
cancel I
auto
already
attacks,
heard, and this is
then we'll charge
huge.
those skills up. An example
I
of this
hope
is
this game is going to fit.
So here
Like,
we're going to create a bell.
this is the
And then when you
problem
hit the
that I
bell, you
have.
do damage around
I
it.
kind of want to
You can
play
also add
summoners.
status ailments to the bell. So for example, you could freeze it like he was doing there, which will add cold damage.
Oh
You
my
can also set it on fire.
Oh my god, the video is going to be so long. I kind of I like to play summoning classes, but only because a lot of times it's like not fast-paced, but if it's fast-paced, I'm actually not sure if I really want to play summoning class or something that is like more skill-based, right? Like for instance, in Diablo 4, I played Assassin, and it was like super fun. It was kind of more fun than Necromancer. Yeah. So animation cancel, yeah, that's probably going to be fun. But maybe not with Minion base.
Shock it and this kind of thing. So that's sort of just like a really quick rundown of the kind of skills you can expect on the monk. But how do you get skills in the first place? Well, the answer to that is skill gems. So the way that you get skill gems are items that you can find in the world, and if you right-click on one, you can choose what skill you want to get. Now, we're trying to keep the skill system feeling as much as possible simple for new players. There's two things you can do here. You can either level up an existing skill, or you can pick a new one, and that kind of interface is quite familiar. We have things like tutorial videos for every skill.
Frozen locusts will explode when attacked by you.
Wow.
But effectively, what?
Oh my god, guys. This game is for free, and they have such a good entrance for new players. If such a hard, like, I think Death of Exile 1 had a really difficult player entry. Like, take me for instance. I'm already playing 4 days. I mean, already. And I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing.
Just want to make sure we're keeping this simple as possible. Now, what you do once you've got a skill gem is put it into your skill screen, and once you've done that, you can bind it and use it. This particular skill is called Frozen Locust that creates a little ice ball there, and then you can detonate that with your glacial
I think that the Exile 2 is going to be a little bit more new player friendly.
Or the monsters can attack it and explode it that way, or you could use it in front of a boss who's about to slam and explode it that way. So that's a sort of basic rundown on how you get skills.
Well, 4 days plus the one few years ago.
You can also use skills across other classes as well. So what we saw there was just the skills for this one class. If we open up the screen again, you can see that the skills for the other classes are still available. If you have the stats to use them, you can use them just as well. And then there's lots of different interesting combinations you can use across classes too. So that's just a quick rundown on what you can expect for the monk. Now we're going to move on to the sorceress.
So the monk looks fun.
Elemental spellcaster. She's going to attack mostly
like in and out, and then
she has high damage but low survivability. The area we're entering here is in Act 3 called the Forge. This is an area like an ancient Val forge where they were making various, forging various gold things.
That feeling of feeling lost doesn't go away till like 8 hours.
So she's using a combination of light.
Yeah, but this is exactly what I mean, right? It has such a high ceiling. Like it's not easy to learn, but it's also hard to master. So Path of Exile 1 is hard to learn and hard to master. I think. Like, I don't know, but I think it's hard to learn. Not sure if it's hard to master, though. And Diablo 4, it was easy to learn. And it wasn't that hard to master.
And fire here.
And I think Path of Exile 2 is going to be easy to learn and uber hard to master.
Once again, there's lots of interesting combos that we want to do, but one of the things that I'd really like to...
Diablo 4 was very casual friends. Yeah, I think it was. I think later it was a little bit more difficult, but it's still more casual friendly. Yeah. I agree.
One of the other character development areas we have in PoE2 is support gems. So,
are you a good ARPG player?
In PoE2, you get them by finding an uncut support. And when you open this by default, what you're going to see is just a few recommendations. If you go through the different skills that you have on the left, there's different recommended skill gems for each. So what we're trying to do is just make sure for new players, it's very easy for them to pick something that's just going to work. In this case, what we might do for Spark is pick Pierce.
That is definitely going to be helpful.
Spark is a skill that creates a lot of projectiles that run around the ground and then bounce off walls. If we're able to pierce through monsters, it means that they can bounce off a wall and potentially hit a monster again. So that can make it a lot more powerful when you are fighting areas with things like that. We're going to try and relight up the forge here in order to be able to get to the boss. So that's what Octavian's doing here. So one of the other things that we might want to...
If beating all of the bosses good.
So, for example, we've got Fireball. If you fire it without multiple projectiles, you get a single fireball that explodes. Throw multiple projectiles on there, and obviously it does what you might expect. You get multiple fireballs. So, one of the things
Oh
that's
my
important is that
god,
you can actually
so
move
many
these support
combinations.
gems around between skills. For example, we took the multiple projectiles and instead we put it on, I don't know, this ice.
Who
if
is
you can
going
get
to play
ice skill somewhere,
Sorceress?
Frostbolt. Then you'd be able to make that into multiple projectiles instead. So effectively, this is the way another area of character progression that you can use.
Yeah,
in
hell,
order
that's
to,
too boring.
improve your characters in PoE. So you want to? I think there was another one as well. Actually, yeah, Fireball.
Bosses
Let's
were
try
fun.
Fireball. So Firewall is a skill that allows you to create a wall of fire. If you fire projectiles through that, it's going to add fire to the lightning projectiles that we fire through.
Wow.
So that is quite a nice little combo there as well. But if we want, there's another skill, a support gem I think is quite interesting called Fortress. If you throw that on any skill that creates a wall, was that the one? Yep. Then when you cast it, it's going to make a circle, which you can either put around you or around the monster. So that means you can cast that and then fire in all directions afterwards. So
Yeah,
it can add a
that
little bit of
is
power.
amazing.
Might be a little bit easier in this area as well when you've got.
Now I'm not
tight
sure if I want
walls.
to play a Summoner quest.
All right. Now the next thing we're going to show is the warrior.
Especially
So
not
the
in
warrior
Alpha.
is our kind of big tank
Or
melee
the
class.
Axis.
Unlike the monk, he's a lot slower, but he hits a lot harder.
If I'm Ubers and Paddle will be one for profit, and don't think that makes me good. I think
He's
if
just
you
gonna
beat
change to
Ubers, it's
WASD,
good.
which works a bit better on this class. Right, so here's the warrior. Now at the moment he's using a two-hand weapon, so he's going to be hitting very slow, but very hard. But there's also something
Who
else
is-
you can do as well in
so,
PoE2.
who
if
is
you
going
never
to
PoE
play
1,
Sorceress,
which
and
is
who's
that,
going to
if you
play
switch to a shield and a one-hand
Warrior?
then you've also got active block. So this is something that actually comes in handy. It's not so useful for just regular trash monsters unless they've got some
Okay,
special ability.
I have to take it back. I have to take back what I said in the beginning, because now look how his feet actually move to the left direction while he is facing top. This is actually super cool.
This is something that actually comes in handy. It's not so useful for just regular
You saw this? You saw that actually looked cool.
trash monsters unless they've got some special ability, but it can be quite nice against bosses.
Maybe
So let's have a
maybe
quick
it
look at that.
just looked
So
weird
this is a big
in the
boss here.
beginning
thing with bosses
because
is they
it
have large
was
telegraph
I was
attacks.
unused to.
So if you use
But now
active
that I
block
think
here, you
about
can
this,
use that
it
to
looks
avoid
cool.
fall damage from the front, which is quite nice. Now there are attacks that have a little red flash that you can't block, but for the most part you can.
I have to admit, I don't like Warrior, but I really love his uniqueness. I really love his uniqueness, and I hope that if we're going to play a party, to have at least one warrior in the party. I think having such a big tank is going to be super helpful. So any one of you is going to play a tank? Are you going to try VSD or regular input? Oh, I don't know yet. I'm going to figure it. I'm going to try both out and then see what's better.
Now, one of the key areas that we haven't talked about yet in Path of Exile in terms of character customization is, of course, the passive tree. So Path of Exile is really well known for having a giant passive tree. There's 1,500 nodes in the passive tree, and all the classes use the same tree. However, they start in different locations. So the warrior, for example, starts on the bottom left side here, and because of the fact he starts there, he gets access to a lot more of the melee-focused elements on the tree. Now, to quickly explain how the passive tree works, there are a few different types of nodes here.
Okay.
The smallest nodes are just like minor nodes, and they'll give very simple increases, like, for example, you've just got melee damage here and that kind of thing. But the thing you're probably going to want to go for are called notables. Notables are the very slightly larger nodes, and they have much more interesting effects. They're often going to depend a little bit on what kind of build you're doing. For example, this one here is 20% more damage against heavy stunned enemies with maces. This is something you're obviously only going to care about if you're heavy stunning enemies a
I
lot,
could try
and of course
something.
using maces. So these notables are the things that
I
are
hope
really
I
going
don't
to define
hurt
your
myself.
character. And the list of notables is really when it comes to making build guides and things. Is this is what really matters. And in PoE2, it
Because
looks
my
like
chat
especially
is
factory
a little
notables
bit
are a lot more interesting. There's a
below,
lot more stuff
and
going
this
on
is
between
why
them.
it
But as well
always
as
when I look
notables,
at
there's
chat, it
also
looks like I'm
other
closing
factory
like
notables
my
on here
eyes.
called keystones. And keystones are unique because they have both
Or at
upsides
least my
and
right eye.
downsides. So an example of one right here is called Giant's Blood. It says you can wield two-hand axes, maces, and swords in one hand, but you get double attribute requirements of weapons. So effectively, if you want to use a giant two-hand sword, but you still want to use a shield, you've got a way to do that. You just have to meet the attribute requirements to do it, which could be tricky for endgame bases. There's also other keystones, a few examples from other classes. There's one here that is from PoE1. Maximum life becomes 1, but you're immune to chaos damage. Since chaos damage does double damage to energy shield, this is something that you might want to use. Once you've got that, you don't have to worry about chaos damage anymore. You just need to build for energy shield and not life.
Wait,
Another
what?
example of one that's been modified from PoE1 is Mind Over Matter. All damage is taken from mana before life, but you have 50% less mana recovery rate. If you're going to build for this, it means you don't have to worry about life once again, but you will have to build a huge amount of mana pool in order to sustain that. So these are the kind of things that you can pick from keystones that, as I said, have upsides and downsides and interesting trade-offs.
Ah, okay.
Now, there is one other mechanic as well that I want to quickly talk about. So if you go back to the character and just have a look, Octavian was manually switching between, if you go back to the character and see, so Octavian was manually switching between one-hand and two-handed weapon sets.
Okay, now everything should be better.
And when he's
I
using
hope.
weapon sets, there are things on the passive tree that you might want to be
I
able to
think.
use for one or the other. So another unique feature for PoE2 on the passive tree is the ability to split passives in two in order to allocate one for one set and another set for the other. So if we allocate ones in red here, these passives will only be used when you've got a two-hand weapon. And if you allocate passives in green using the other one here, these passives will only be allocated when you're holding the other weapon set. When you're using as one-hand weapon.
That is really good.
Now it'll switch from one set to the other. So that means that he can effectively dynamically adjust his passives based on what weapon sets he wants to use. But the other thing as well is in order to make it a lot easier for you.
Are we going to watch the patch notes together then?
Passives in your different passives and different weapons for different skills.
Yeah, let's watch the patch notes together. Don't forget to tell me in chat next time when we stream when the new patch notes come dropping.
If you've got a shield, then when you use the skill, it will be blocking the entire time. If you just demonstrate that quickly. So if you use a stampede, because you hold your shield in front of you, you're blocking the entire time you're charging. And using the one-hand weapon will also be a lot faster because it's got higher attack speed. So that's something we'd much rather use with our one-hand weapon. But when, for example, we're doing our Earthquake or our Double Slam, this is something that we probably only want to use with our two-hand weapon because we want to do the most damage. So that means we can turn it off with the other weapon set.
So this is a lot of skill.
Now when you use that, it'll switch to your two-hand weapon automatically. So effectively, this allows you to.
You just watch too many at the roost and get extra info.
It's also very good for, for example, the sorceress earlier. She was using lightning and fire. She can have two different staffs, one that's geared for one that's geared for the other, as well as spec her passive tree out as well. So that's another character development feature that we have in PoE2. Next up, we want to talk about the
slam belt. What is the slam belt? Is the slam belt what we just saw?
Primary bow cast, bow user.
Oh, this looks interesting for me as well. I love everything that is like range, I don't like to be in front and now I'm like in the range and then pew pew pew.
So this just makes the game feel a lot more fluid. So she's just a lot more mobile even from that. But she also has a lot of vaulting skills that allow her to jump up. For example, there's one there that freezes monsters. She jumps up and she can jump monsters and freeze them. So this kind of thing allows you to
now disengage.
Feel a lot more mobile in combat. Make sure you can get away from the monsters, which you need to do since she isn't necessarily the most tanky character.
Yeah, me neither.
One of the things you might have noticed
So
if you're a PoE1 player is the bottom left of the screen there. There's only 2 flasks, just a life and a mana flask. We've actually changed how the flask system works in PoE2 very recently. Now you get 1 life and 1 mana flask, and that's all. And the reason we actually did that is we found that there was a problem.
Most enjoyable was the monk. I think because the monk is
flasking. The thing is, so
a lot of
we've
action.
actually buffed flasks significantly, so that each flask has a lot more charges, but you only get 1 of each type. Now, one of the main things that people were doing in PoE1 when they were using flasks is they had they were using the.
I have to tell you guys, I like this way more than maybe I'm alone here. I don't know how you are, but the thing with the 5 flasks, it's too much. I sometimes just mashing buttons and just because I want to use flask and I like this way more.
other flask slots
But
for
maybe it's
most
just
of the
me,
things that were
not
independently
used
resistant
to
various element types and so on.
flasks.
And so we wanted to have a system to allow that to still be the case and still have interesting character customization there. So we've added a new type of item called charms. Charms charge up using flask charges, so as you kill monsters, but they automatically trigger in order to grant you immunity to certain things at the point when you get those things. So for example here, this is used when you become ignited and then grants immunity to ignite. So if you're having trouble with fire damage, then you can throw that on there. If you get ignited, it'll automatically quench you, and then it will charge up again from killing monsters. Now there are lots of different
Wait. So this one I just didn't understand now. So if you use a flask and you have like this charms, then the charm is activated when you use a flask. Doesn't matter which flask, nano or hell, right? I hope this is how it is.
charms that have different abilities. They trigger on different things. They get you. They make you resistant to different
You
things.
can ultimate them
You
later
also
on.
get mods,
Oh,
from crafting and so on, so you can make them an interesting part of your build. But the point is, they're always automatic. You don't have to manually trigger them, so it kind of solves that problem of having to manually use flasks constantly. You get
yeah.
the ability to use more charms by getting higher level belts. This is relatively lower level, so you've only got one charm slot there. As you get higher level belts, you get more slots up to 3, and there might even be some uniques that lead to more charms later on as well, of course. Now, one of the other things that
There we
we want
go.
to upgrade as well is that we found, so in PoE2 there's a huge amount of encounters
So
and
you see the
bosses.
flasks.
There are actually 50
Actually,
bosses in early access.
let's
There's
go
going to be
back.
100 in the final game. So one of the things we've changed is we've upgraded the map to actually allow you to see all of those
Let's
on
see.
the map. So if you zoom in a little bit there, you can see that there's a bunch of bosses and random encounters around the area. Near to where Octavian is right now, you can see that there's a boss called Silverblack Blackfist, and that
How do you like this one? How do you like this appearance? I think this looks gorgeous. This looks great. You see everything. It's not only on the top left side, like in Path of Exile 1. It's like all your eye. You still see your like things. You see, I like this. I like this. I like this a lot.
That means that in this area there's something to find, a boss to encounter. So yeah, as I said, the bosses often have things that you can use to increase your character power as well. So it's important to kill them.
Yeah, so it's important to kill them. Hey, I saw this one. Path of Exile 1, the mark. It gives you more damage if you use range, but then I like took it away because it was another skill that I had to use. Wow, I like this gameplay. Look, it's really active and it's fast-paced. And I have to say, like, the evading thing, it's not in Path of Exile 1, right? But it's like in Diablo 4, and I think it's good.
So as you can see, he dropped a Book of Specialization there, and this is one of the items that allows you to do the split passive points in the passive tree, but it also gives you more passive points as well. So it's something that you're going to definitely want to find. Now there are other bosses around the game that have different bonuses and so on, so it's definitely a good idea to explore all the encounters throughout the game and find all of those things.
We got
So
to
next we're
find
gonna talk about the
everything.
Witch. And while we're showing the Witch, it's also a good time
Everything.
to talk about one of the other character progression systems in Path of Exile 2, which is
Okay,
Spirit.
Toby, good night.
So the Witch
See
is a
you.
primary
Thank you for
summoner, but
being
she also has a
here.
range of other supporting skills.
Bye
But the thing I want
bye.
to show you first is just the fact that she often, and in fact all the
Bye
classes use
bye.
what's called Spirit. So there's a new type of skill gem, an uncut Spirit gem, which you can use here, and that'll give you a bunch of these, another skill screen with a bunch more abilities. What these ones are is for giving you things that are kind of somewhere halfway between a passive bonus and an active one. This one here called Grim Feast
Oh, not night.
feeds on
Ah,
corpses to
okay.
bolster your energy shield. But we've got lots of these for all classes. All classes can use them. For example, on Sorceress, here you've got
Okay, then see you later.
There's one here called Raging Spirits, which means that every time you use a fire skill, it summons a Raging Spirit. So you can, like, as I said, it's somewhere between like an active and a passive.
Oh, Raging Spirits! Guys, Raging Spirits!
Want to get a lot of spirit because
Wait, this is...
all minions are paid for with the same resource.
Wait. Let me go back. I'm sorry.
One of the other character progression systems in Path of Exile 2, which is Spirit. So the Witch is a primary summoner, but she also has a range of other supporting skills. But the thing we want to show you first is just the fact that she often, and in fact all the classes use a resource called Spirit. So there's a new
Spirit.
skill gem, an uncut Spirit gem, which you can use here, and that'll give you a bunch of these, another skill screen with a bunch more abilities. What these skills are is for giving you things that are kind of somewhere halfway between a passive bonus and an active one. This one here called Grim Feast feeds on corpses to bolster your energy shield. But we've got lots of these.
Oh, that is good.
All classes can use them. For example, on Sorceress, here you've got Outer Armor. There's one here called Raging.
That is so good because now I can like actually activate corpses without activating corpses because they're running around and they just nom 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 corpses and it gives me shit. So I can survive and activate corpses.
Spirits, which means that every time you use a fire skill, it summons a raging spirit. So you can, like as I said, it's somewhere between like an active and a passive. But for the minion characters in particular, they're going to want to get a lot of spirit because all minions are paid for with the same resource.
Yeah, we're going to go a lot of spirit.
In order to use spirit, effectively what you do is you go to the skill screen, and if you've got minions there, you can just click the little plus button, get some extra minions, and there you go. Now, these are permanent minions, which means that if they die, they're going to respawn again automatically.
That is so good.
And that means that it's during boss fights and things like that. It makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about having corpses every time, that kind of thing.
Like whoever had this idea with the automatic cassette of summonings if they die, he is a genius.
Large minion armies, and because of that, we also have minion skills.
What class are you running for your?
Well. So all these scorpions here,
and
those are
I think she's also called Witch.
You'll get large armies. During boss fights, it'll be a little bit more focused using the minions, your permanent minions for the most part. Now he's also got some other supporting skills, a lot of things focusing on chaos damage. So he's got a skill called Contagion that'll spread between monsters and other things like Essence Drain and so on. Like just
I guess this was like the best.
Now the other thing with minions is that all the permanent minions come with extra abilities that you can trigger manually. So you see those little
extra abilities.
You can use those to explode your minions. So that's the Arsonists. It's their ability. They'll throw a little bomb and explode your minion. And there's also other ones, for example.
So what I'm actually thinking about, if you have minions, right, and auto rest minions, yeah, it's amazing. And every minion has like manual attacks as well. But the question that I have is, do you have to have the skill equipped? You know what I mean? Like, do you have to have the skill equipped to use the minion? Or can you just have the minion and you're like, nah, I don't want to use the active. I just want the minion to have, and then you have like a free slot for active. That is something because in Diablo 4, you also have like some actives with some minions. But if you take out the actives, then the minions are gone. And I was like, that is not good. I didn't like it at all.
Snipers have the ability to create little gas clouds. And the more minions you have, the more often you can use those abilities. So effectively, it means that each minion also effectively serves as an extra skill as well as being a meat shield for you as well.
Yes, you need minion skill gems.
That's a quick introduction to the witch.
No, I mean.
But now we're going to show off the mercenary.
I mean, do you need to have it?
Actually, wait, no, we did miss something. Sorry about that. Right, so just one other quick thing I wanted to show you as well is that the witch has a lot of other summoning options.
I mean, do you need here to equip it? Do you need it here? Or can it just? Yeah, you need to. Let's see.
Even beyond just the ones that were picked, because she also has things called specters. So basically, anytime you kill a monster on the ground, it can be turned into a specter. We've actually created one here from Act 1 called a Cultist Archer. They cost quite a bit of spirit, so we're going to unsummon a couple of the Arsonists and put this Cultist Archer in. Now the nice...
Wait. But look, this is not, now I'm not sure anymore. Because look, he has skeleton Like, I see the skilled mage here. I see the skilled mage here. And I don't see Spectre or Arsenal anywhere here.
It's quite a bit of spirit, so we're going to unsummon a couple of the arsonists and put this cultist archer in. Now the nice thing is that because lots of monsters in Path of Exile have different interesting abilities, all those abilities can be used by the summoner as well. So this one has the ability to summon these like purple.
In Path of Exile, you have like 12 skill slots in the hotbar. You ain't gonna use all of them. Well, in Path of Exile 1, I actually using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. I'm actually using 11 skills in Path of Exile 1. Or 11 skill slots. So I only have like 1 skill slot left.
Polyp things that both slow monsters and add weakness to chaos damage as well. She's using it there with those little things that exploded there. Because those are going to make monsters weaker to chaos damage, it'll be a very good part of this build. It's not as many minions, but the nice thing is that it'll actually end up being more DPS, and I think for bosses it probably is better.
Yeah, I mean on hotbar.
These little polyp things are. All right, so moving on. Let's have a quick look at the mercenary. So the mercenary is another ranged character, but this time using crossbows. Now the main difference between a crossbow and a bow is that crossbows fire instantly, and they also have an ammo mechanic where effectively, you fire until your clip is empty and then you have to reload. So it plays a lot more like an FPS. And we've got lots of type of FPS type
If this would be the case,
just change it to W.
if this would really be the case that you just have to summon them, and that you don't need them to put in the hotbar at all, like at all, and then you have like still your 12 skill slots, then I'm definitely going to play Summoner, Witcher, Summoner, and then use the skills for like real skills.
SD here because this character plays a lot better in that way. So if you've got like a shotgun type weapon.
Yeah, temporary, yeah.
You've got a assault rifle type weapon.
Like the permanent ones.
Find some monsters. And various other types. You've also got attached grenade launchers.
I have to admit, this looks awesome.
Type weapons and so on. Now, this plays very differently to the other classes, but I think it's really fun. It's just like a whole different sort of feeling of the game.
It kind of also looks like a different game. Like, look at this. He's now somewhere.
And is very interested in anatomy and kind of merging them with machines. There's a pretty interesting.
It kind of really looks like different. It like kind of looks like a FPS, but not from.
Drop some items.
No, but not from first person. Like
but it really just looked like an anatomy diagram, so we needed to do something to show the fact that it was actually a modeled human there. So that was fun. So one of the other things we haven't even talked about, which is another really important character development.
Like, let's be serious. This kind of doesn't look like this looks awesome. This looks like a horror game.
System in Path of Exile is of course items. So now items in Path of Exile work like many other action RPGs, but I think that we do a particularly good job of having interesting affixes and suffixes. If you have
the only problem that I have with the items, especially in Path of Exile 1, let's see how it's going to be in Path of Exile 2, is the distinguishability. Like, I would not know. Like, I would not know if this is like just for dexterity or dexterity and strength. You know what I mean? Or is this only intelligence?
Look at the items on the character. Like they effectively.
Well, guys.
We have normal magic, rare, and uniques. Magic items can have up to 2 mods. Rare items can have up to 6. And effectively, each of the different slots has a pool of mods that's unique to
wow.
But one of the other things that's sort of really important about PoE is crafting items. So here we have different crafting items that allow you to add affix.
See. So now it's what?
Important about PoE is crafting items. So here we have.
Okay, strength and dexterity. I mean, okay, this was a bad example of me because it kind of looks like agile but also hard. You know, it's not a leather cap. I think a leather cap would be dexterity, but you know what I mean.
Different crafting items that allow you to add affixes to items. If you use an Orb of Transmutation, it'll turn this magic item to a 1 mod magic. If you use an Orb of Augmentation, it'll add an extra mod to make it into a 2 mod magic. You've also got Regal Orbs that will turn it into a 3 mod rare, which is normally that I've 4, but if you do it this way,
Okay, I don't
then you can use
understand
Exalted
this.
Orbs to add more mods than that to make up to 6 mods. Now, something in Path of Exile 2 that's very different than PoE 1
What?
is that these currency items to add mods to items are much, much more common than they were before, and you're really going to be expected to use them throughout the campaign. It's like a really important element of player power. We've actually changed
Wait, what?
be expected to use them throughout are much, much more common than they were before, and you're really going to be expected to use them throughout the campaign. It's like a really important element of player power.
This is amazing. Like the only reason why I don't use any items in Path of Exile 1, well, not the only reason, there are multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is because I didn't know if I can use them later on or not, and now I'm over the level where I can't use them. So I'm now, damn. So having this is actually pretty good because this is going to help you so much progressing and still getting stronger. And I think game nowadays make it way so that Path of Exile is doing this. I like this a lot because now you can actually invest in a good item piece and not be sad if you have to switch it.
We've actually changed the way the scaling works in quite a lot of elements to kind of try and make it so that picking up like new blue items is going to actually be an interesting choice for you. Using regals and exalts on them are pretty interesting, and also you get regals by selling by disenchanting rare.
Yeah. I admit, I had like my wand from level 1, almost like level 7 wand when I was level 32 or something like this. So I beat Act 2 or 3 with a level 7 wand because it had like 3 blue sockets, and I was like, whoa, blue sockets.
As well. So effectively, you can get quite a lot of regals in order to upgrade items to rares relatively easily. So now these crafting items, the other thing that's important about them is you can use them on any base type, not just items you can equip. They're used throughout the game for many different purposes, for the end game as well, and many other things. So you can use them on flasks and charms. There's all sorts of places where you can use them.
Sounds good.
It's definitely something that you're going to want to master and play around with. Now, the other items, of course, that we have is lots and lots of unique items. There are hundreds of them in PoE2. There'll be hundreds of them as we go along. Some of them are pretty interesting.
I love
they all do
uniques.
things. They aren't just upgraded
Gotta
rares.
catch them all.
They all do something kind of interesting. So, for example, here we have a boots called Corpse Wade. If you put that on there and then you walk through a corpse, it'll make them explode and turn into little puffs of green chaos damage there. That's not something you're going to get on a rare item. Another one here is called Sands of Silk. If you put this one on, what it's going to do is change your dodge roll into a teleport, into a blip that can blink through monsters. Once again, not something you get on a rare, but there's a few others here that are kind of interesting. This one here is called
awesome.
Pillar of Crimson. It makes Life Leech overflow maximum life, so as you attack monsters, you can get like over health above your normal maximum if you're using Life Leech. Another one here, for example, pretty simple in some ways, is
also awesome.
This thing here just has ridiculous attack speed, but low damage. If you want to make an interesting bow build where you're just making, where you want to hit huge amounts of times, you don't necessarily care about the damage dealt, Quill Rain is going to be something for you. Or another one here called the Wailing Wall. This one here disables shield skills, but makes you able to block damage from all hits without having to raise your shield. So effectively, if you want to be able to block a lot of damage, but you don't care about being able to use other shield skills, this could be a good one. So all of these are what we call.
So it's like cheap, easy game. The shield, like if you have the shield equipped, it's like you telling everyone like, I can't play. I'm bad at this game. So I just use the shield and get the benefits. Guidance system is more like poor. The sockets are now for excess stat bonuses.
Might be able to build a character around, do something interesting with, and they're a big part of how the in-game, things.
I'll be honest, I forgot a lot about
sort of things that might affect how your character is
P4.
played.
So, on the eve of the end, the demon of Atzoatl
I mean, I was good, but I only played, I think, Season 1. And a little bit Season 2. So the Mercenary looks like a really, really fun class, I have to admit. Because it focuses so much on you and your position. It kind of has... It's not so agile like the... It's not so agile like the Ranger. But it's also not so squishy, but it's agile, more agile than a warrior. I think it's a good mix between warrior and archer. I think they had a really, really good idea when they designed the character.
Listen, I'm just here for the lady. There's no need for all this.
Now, this is a buff, right? I think this is a really easy character to learn. I'll be honest, I think this is super easy to learn. I don't think this is a super hard character. At least it doesn't look like it. You have a lot of time where it pauses. You don't have to constantly do something. I think a lot of players are going to enjoy this. What should it get? Chipotle or Chick-fil-A? Terry. Yeah. Chick-fil-A is always good. I don't know, I cook myself. That sounds yummy. If you're going to eat, I wish you good appetite. I hope you enjoy your meal. If I could have, I would have give you something of my rice that I made. I made rice with Asia vegetables and coconut sauce. So it's like rice curry with vegetables. It's super yummy.
The really important things in any action RPG is the end game. Now, something that happens almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying there isn't enough in-game content. We really want to make sure that in PoE2 people don't...
I also spiced it. I love to spice my food. I spice it with curcuma and garam masala and red pepper. And what else did I put? Hey, some other ingredients. When you think of the class, nice. Try to look into their secondary options. Oh, I don't know about this. I'm pretty new to Path of Exile 2 as well. Like, I haven't done so much research.
don't feel that way. And it's something that we actually changed our priorities for as a studio relatively recently. Now, the first 3 acts of PoE2 take around 25 hours to complete. This is
Wow. 25 hours. That's actually pretty good for a RPG.
already longer than many campaigns in other games. On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in in-game. We realized that finishing the rest of the campaign for early access instead of working on endgame would actually be a very bad idea. So instead of having Acts 4 to 6 in early access, it's much better for us to concentrate on endgame and make that great. If you're a new
Yes.
player, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with plenty of content. But if you're an
Yes.
existing action RPG player, then what you're going to care about is the endgame challenges that you have to complete. If we'd launched with a
This
double-length
make
campaign and a bad
sense.
endgame, we'd effectively have to say, hey, trust us, a good endgame is coming later. But if we launch
This is so good. This is so smart. So you're only going to have like the first 3 acts, and then you're going to have the first 3 acts stronger endgame. This is smart. This is smart. Thank you. Because otherwise people would just rush through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
with a 25-hour campaign and a great endgame, then people can easily understand what's coming.
You
and
know,
say, oh,
plenty of
yeah,
people
and there's 3 more acts
will
coming
want to
really soon.
change the scenery, but they won't be
Now,
able
in early
to.
access, there are 50 bosses
Hey,
currently and around 400
I think
monster
it's
types,
fine.
but effectively the game is going to double in size during
As long as you can change your skills easily, you know, I think it's fine. I think having like not be although I have no idea. I mean, maybe in Path of Exile I heard you can change, but we will see. We will see.
early access and to be 6 acts with 100 bosses and around 800 monster types.
But I think it's fine.
Now the great thing is the rest of the game is like 80% there, and so we'll be adding content very quickly during early access, and so you can expect to see a lot of that coming really quickly.
You know, like I understand when people say like they want to change skills. But Path of Exile 2, I think if you, for instance, go for a max spin, and then all of a sudden you're like Gatling gun. Not sure.
Now, in order to make the endgame happen at the same player level, we've had to add a second difficulty called Cruel difficulty, where you repeat the campaign with all the monsters and bosses harder, but also better rewards. If you sort of look at it in traditional game terms, you can think of it as a kind of like new game plus type thing, but we've actually made quite a lot of changes to the game throughout as well, which you'll probably enjoy as well.
Nice.
And that'll take you to around level 65, which is where the endgame begins. So,
65.
let's talk about what the endgame is. So in
Yeah,
PoE, there are many different endgame grinds. One of the things that's kind of really important is that people feel like they've got a choice between many different types of activities in the endgame. So
that
for
is good.
PoE2, at the start of early access, we're going to have 8 primary in-game grinds that you can do, all of which have their own sort of systems for leveling them up, improving them, unique rewards, player power that you can get only from them. And we're going to introduce the first 2 of them right here
Okay, let's
during
see.
the campaign, which are the Ascension Trials. So the Ascension Trials in Path of Exile 2, you do encounter them in the campaign to start with, but then they level up all the way to endgame and they have interesting mechanics. So this first one here is called Child of the Sekimas, and it's actually a sequel to Sanctum League from PoE 1.
See, I have no idea what Sanctum League is. It's just PoE. When you build your character to endgame, a lot of the time you're built around your Ascendery tree passive. Not just the skills, you learn that eventually. Okay.
We've actually done quite a lot of sequels to leagues from PoE 1 with new mechanics and new stuff, but all of them have new things going on. So basically, in order to the Trial of the Sekimas is a place where the Maraketh came to be tested and gain power. In order to gain entry, you need a coin containing the soul of a djinn, and then once you put it in the relic altar there, then you can enter and start playing. Now, the trial is made up of various different rooms, and it works a little bit like a roguelike type encounter system, where effectively you pick each room, and then within each room there's a different challenge. This one is a ritual trial, I think, which has these monster summoners. So they're effectively summoning monsters, and you want to be able to kill those as fast as you can to complete the room.
I mean, look at this. He's also playing Summoner. There is a reason why he's playing Summoner. I like the music, by the way. Kind of reminds me of Bastion. Anyone played Bastion before? Such a cute game.
Now, in this case, we have a silver key. Keys can be used at the end of the trial to be able to get rewards, but effectively you have to be able to survive the entire trial to be able to claim them. Now, this is the map for the trial.
Oh, so is this like... it's like Labyrinth, right? A little bit roguelike, but like Labyrinth. I like this.
and you can effectively pick what type of room you'd like to go to next. There are a few different issues. One of them is that
And you
the
only
next room will
really
have a
delve
type,
into these after
so particular
campaign.
type of trial. For
Okay,
example, here's an
okay.
hourglass trial,
So soon.
and it also has
We
a type of
already
reward, but
6.
also some of them
So
have
soon.
boons or afflictions that might get you. So this one says, for example, when you enter it, that it
Hey,
afflicts you with
roguelike,
blunt
yeah.
sword on entry,
Roguelike is fun.
which means you and your minions deal 40% less damage. We probably don't want to do that as a minion build.
No.
But they have better rewards in exchange for that.
You know what? I'm actually going to do this with a minion build. Yeah.
40% less damage. We probably don't want to do that as a minion build, but they have better rewards in exchange for that. So once you've picked your room, you can go and do the next one.
Most important thing is not getting hit. I also think that not getting hit is I think not getting hit is going to be with the warrior, with the shield. And I think with the girl that can like jump out of danger at minions. Tabas, you hate Sanctum, you could to this belt.
And kill all the monsters. Now, one thing I didn't mention at the start of this is that unlike in the normal game, if you take hits in this mode, then you're going to lose a resource called honor. If you run out of honor, then you have to leave the trial. So effectively, you want to really try and play these runs as hitless as possible, and that means that all the monsters we've selected usually have to be avoidable in some way, have dodgeable mechanics.
Wow. Thank you, game. Thank you. Listen to what he's saying. And especially, like, in Battletech 1, you just saw when I was, like, fighting. I didn't know what's going on. Like, there was, like, bam, bam, bam everywhere, and I didn't know anything. But now?
Means that all the monsters we've selected usually have to...
All the monsters, like, look at the spider here.
Try and play these runs as hitless.
Okay. He is, like, backing off, and you see, oh, he's going to attack soon. And then he attacks. But then you're gone already. Again, and then he's like, look at this one. What? And then you're like, okay, he's now going to pew here. Here.
Usually have to
Well, maybe. Not sure.
Have dodgeable mechanics, and that's sort of why Octavian is playing as safely as he possibly can here. He doesn't want to get too close to the boss.
But he got hit.
Because he doesn't want to lose honor. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there is a wicked tiara. I would have picked it. The animation for characters and monsters and all this. Yeah. This is so important. The visuals, the indication. The indication are so important. This is what I have to say. Diablo 4 did a really great job. The indication were most of the time good.
One more. So that one's a sacred water fountain, the chalice trial. Yeah, sure, let's do it. All right, cool. The next one's called a chalice trial.
At least better than Battletech 1.
A blood chalice here, which you need to fill with blood by killing rare monsters in this area. Once you've killed all the rare monsters, you can continue. Now there are a lot of different rooms in the trial.
Or do you don't agree?
In level 1, and they're random, what you get each time. So you should expect
look at this.
Level 1, and they're...
You already know. Okay, here is a small dot. Here is a big circle. Here is a bigger circle. If this circle reaches this circle, then it's going to be boom. Let's see if I'm right.
Random, what you get each time. So you should expect each run to
So this,
feel quite different, and the kind of stuff
amazing.
You find, the kind of boons and afflictions you get, the monsters that you'll face, this kind of thing. All of these are very different. And there's also 4 floors as well.
There is a relic that makes you honor B1, so you have to run through the whole sanctum without getting hit once. But if you do the no hit clear, you get very good unique item. I love unique items. We're going to do this.
Have ways to expand.
Can you run this co-op? Does anyone know if you can run this co-op? You know what I'm going to do then? We run this co-op. And I'm going to tell you, run, minions, run! Aim-
ways to
Wait, I lose Renix? Okay, then I'm going to do this my own.
make it both more damaging and
And now. Original Sin is the name. The same system. No.
Where's that other rare? There he is.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I paused again going back so many times, but look at this for instance. Okay, he stopped. Then he like whoops. Done. He stops. Done.
Oh, avoid that one.
That was close.
All right. So that's this trial complete.
I know he
And once
did get
again, you
hit,
get the reward you picked, which I believe was
so
Sacred
he would
Water in
now
this case.
lose.
So Sacred Water is a resource that you can use throughout your run. Effectively, it's a currency that can be used in a shop that you can find throughout the run as well. Water is obviously a very hard resource in the desert. So in the interest of time, what we're going to do now is skip to the last room in this floor of the Sanctum, which is a boss room.
Formidable. Steel yourself.
All right, so now we have Rattle Cage.
Oh, you also have to kill the boss without getting hit. I think this has got to be hard. I mean, imagine you are an elite class.
All right, so now we have Rattle Cage.
Done. 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 Hola. I hope this poison cloud is going to be a little bit more transparent, maybe. No, don't run to your minions, they're going to die. Okay. Lucky. Again, why does he stand to the minions? They're going to get all the hits. But I guess he's doing fine. Oh wow, this was close. The magma thing almost got him. Wow, he's actually doing really good. Almost got hit. Now we backseating, guys. Now I know what it feels like in your shoes. Wow, this looks awesome. I'm sure they will eventually add more mechanics. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to add a lot of stuff in Path of Exile 1. That was actually really good.
So that's the boss of the end of the first floor of the Sanctum, but there's lots more bosses in Sanctum to find. As I said, there's multiple floors. They each have interesting things. Now, at the end of each floor, you'll get the ability to pick from various different chests. The keys that drop give the ability to open these caches here.
How is this the most
so you
divine
pick
per
each
hour
and
in
each of them have
Path
different,
of Exile 1?
types of rewards in them.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that you get to do here is use the Altar of Ascendancy. Now, unfortunately, we forgot to reset the Ascendancy class, so you're not going to be able to see the list there when we did the thing before. But effectively, once you've, the first time you use the Altar of Ascendancy, you get to pick
Oh, now we
between,
go to
3 different Ascendancy
Ascendancies.
classes. In early access, there's only going to be 2 available for each class, and we're going to be adding the rest later. And those give you interesting things that are only available to your class, because no other class gets those things on the passive tree. Now, with ascendancy classes in PoE2 have really tried to do a lot better in terms of how interesting the things are. For example, this particular class, and because I can't see the name on the screen, I forgot what it's called, Infernalist, right? It's got some pretty interesting abilities. One of them here is called the Hellhound. So this one gives the ability to summon a Hellhound. When you summon it, it has a few abilities. One of them is that it sets everything next to it on fire. It's a minion, so because we're a minion class, this can be really useful. But also it takes damage for you. Every time you take damage, it gets transferred to the Hellhound.
Wow.
So, he's a really good
So
boy.
thank you for you.
Another one that's really interesting
Good boy.
is that if we just respec
Good
quickly
boy.
away from that, is
Hellhound is good boy.
called demon form. So when you use demon form, you turn into a demon. While you're a demon, you lose life constantly, but you also have much higher spell damage and much faster cast speed. The longer you survive, the higher those numbers get. So, but you're going to continuously take damage. So you're probably, if you're going to use this, you probably want to do a build that involves getting high life regeneration in some manner, so you can survive as long as possible and do a large.
Not sure about this one. It looked cool.
As an example, just two
It looked really cool.
But of
But
course,
your minions are dead. Are gone.
You're going to want to get more points by doing more ascension trials.
It's always shiny.
and,
People hated House when it released because you had to click too much stuff. Oh.
Now in PoE2, you actually, all of the ascension trials, oh that's right, sorry, we haven't even finished this one yet. All right, hang on, where was I? All right,
I like how the game looks.
Let's talk about how this extends into endgame. So effectively,
I really like how the game looks. It looks dark and creamy and horror, and I like it a lot.
as you go through this trial, you might find items called relics. And relics are these items here, which can be crafted. You can see an example of a blue one here. This one says monsters have a 4% chance to drop double sacred water and gain 16 sacred water at the start of the trial. Now, these are ways that you can effectively improve your odds as you go through, but there's some pretty interesting ones as well. Let's have another look at another couple. Bosses deal 4% reduced damage. These ones are very low level and simple, but they
My
can be
bad,
quite
you're something about
powerful.
the
So if you click on the relic altar
Not this stream.
before you start your run, put a coin in, then you've got these slots here that you can put the relics in, and you can also unlock more slots by doing more. By doing this more.
Yeah,
in order
the
to
game
get
looks
relics more
awesome.
in. There are also unique relics, like for example this one here that says that the boss at the end of the entire trial will drop a specific unique item, but your maximum honor is 1, which means you can take
Cannot be used with trash below level 80. So, yeah. This item is destroyed when applied on the trial. So, well, you know what the cool thing is? Everything is like tradable, right? So stuff like this, you can definitely trade. Hey,
exactly 1 hit, which means that you need to do a hitless run in order to be able to.
you know what would be funny? If I would say, okay, I'm selling the last flame intense relic for 1 Dogecoin.
To get that unique. So there are lots of other interesting unique relics that do other things. The ability to extend this and get into endgame is pretty high. And one of the reasons you're going to want to do that is because, like all of these different in-game mechanics,
Is
there's
this
unique
allowed?
power that only comes from it. So in this particular case, we have jewels. Jewels are coming back in PoE2 as well. You can see an example of one of them here. These are things that you can socket into your passive tree to be able to get more get more
Oh,
stats.
jewels.
So this one says 15% increased maximum.
We
energy
also
field
get
and
some
enemies
jewels in
have
fact,
plus
like
7%
one.
elemental resistances. Now, because of the fact that you can roll these yourself and stack them, there's some pretty interesting things you can do with jewels.
But
And there's also jewels that have.
you know what I see? I see here at least gold. Because I have to admit, the system at Data XR1, I didn't really understand of the, like, why doesn't it give us gold?
Other kind of
Hey,
random
hey,
effects. Like, for example, this
5,000,
one
welcome
here
back.
Says upgrades. Says that 25% increased effect of small passive skills and radius. So
Oh,
this
I
actually
like that.
modifies the other skills on the passive tree to improve them.
I like
with
that
some
a lot.
interesting things and some interesting overlaps, you can do some pretty cool stuff with those as well. There are of course unique jewels and other things going on, and I won't go too much into it. But effectively, this does scale all the way in game.
Question about gold. In Path of the XR1, I only got now gold, but it's like only usable on this one event. But I didn't really got gold as currency. I got like this other things, and I didn't know what to do with them. So
Has uniques, has there's ways to scale it.
But here at least you have like a currency.
The next trial we're going to talk about is the trial of the Chaos God. Now, unlike in PoE1, every time you want to get more ascendancy points, there's a new trial that you have to do to do that. So this is the second trial that you can do, and once again, it's also an in-game mechanic that that can be expanded upon. So we're going to use the mercenary for this one.
Ah,
this
okay,
is
got
the
it.
one you're going to encounter in Act 3 for the first time, but as I said, it extends to in-game as well. Finishing the Ascension trial was kind of an ancient rite for the Vaal that conveyed power and respect. It
Really?
requires a token from a strange entity called the Trial Master. And this is actually a sequel to a league from PoE1 called Ultimatum, but it works very differently. So to start with, he's going to offer the trial, make the offering to the trial, and then he can walk in.
The king is called to trade other currencies in the market. Ah,
In the trial of the Chaos God, you're going to have to pick from one of the downsides that's going to affect you for the entire rest of the trial. So the Trial Master is here.
ah,
and he's
this
gonna
is
offer
another roguelike. I like this. Like, this is fun. Not only like you have to think about this. I have to think about entertainment and also about streaming and stuff like this is always good because if you can take this, then you can like chat decide and then chat decides one, and then if the chat behaves good, then yeah, I think it's fine. And if chat behaves good and chat is good boy, then they're going to give you good. But then if they're like Neelam or something like this, then they'd be bad. But I think it's a lot of fun with interactions and let chat decide what to pick. I think it's going to have a lot of fun moments.
you an item to start with. Here's the item that you're going to get if you.
Ultimatums like to choose your
And you're also
poison.
gonna say,
Yeah.
pick one of these
What?
three
Let
things
chat
that's gonna
choose your
potentially hurt
poison.
you. In this case, we're going to pick blood globules, which will one of the easier ones. And what that's going to do is mean that these blood balls are going to appear above your head and slam down periodically.
Are you ready, challenger?
And then we're going to
As you walk
see.
into the room, he's going to summon a bunch of these monsters. Now, each of the rooms has different mechanics. This one's very simple. You just have to kill all the monsters.
Yeah, this is simple. Just kill all the monsters.
That's that blood globule I talked about earlier.
Oh, so this blood thingy just appears and follows you and boom.
Now, the blood globule may not seem very threatening right now, but as you go through each room, you're going to
It's
add
fine.
more and more mechanics that are going to hurt you, and so it can get quite intense by the time you've gotten to the end.
I mean, like us.
There we go. So we've defeated all the monsters in this room, and we can move on to the next one. So as we move to the next room, once again, the
Alright,
Trial
it
Master is
looks
gonna
so
give us a
awesome.
choice. Basically, sort of double or nothing. Do you want to take another reward and make the game harder again, or do you want to take the rewards you've already received so far and leave with your ill-gotten gains?
Chat, what would you do? Make it harder, or take what you have? We all know what we got to pick, right?
In this case, obviously, like most players, you're probably going to want to pick another reward and keep going. So there's the existing
got to
blood
keep
globules, and
going.
that'll keep stacking up. But we're also going to have shocking turrets here.
All
We're gonna
in,
add turrets
exactly.
through the room, which you'll have to deal with as well.
All in.
Now, this one
No
is
backing down.
a trial that requires it's a timed encounter type trial.
Live.
No, even if you're weak.
As you can see, there's those lightning turrets there now, which you also have to deal with, and it's going to spawn.
Oh,
more
I'm
monsters
going
that
to
you
be
have
bad at
survive.
this one.
You don't have to actually kill all of them. If the time runs out, then they're all going to go away. So
He said you have to survive, right?
you don't have to actually kill all of them.
Look where he stands now. Nothing goes there.
If the time runs out, then they're all going to go away. So yeah, you can. You just have to survive.
Oh, he's doing it. Yeah. Forget about the traps. Just. Well, I think. Whoa, wait. Is this a Rhinoceraptorus Raptorus? Damn.
And the Vaal had a culture of risk taking, so all these kind of risk versus reward mechanics very much work for them.
We're playing
the way
softcore.
they're crafted,
Who is
the
playing
weapons,
at
things like
softcore?
that, all sort of
We're
relate to
playing
kind of
hardcore
risk-taking
only.
behavior.
Nah, joking. But if I'm going to play a hardcore character, it's definitely going to be the mercenary.
He's stuck. Uh-oh. You've only got 4 seconds. Just survive for 4 seconds. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
He didn't even kill the big guy.
Managed to flask through it, so it's okay.
Can minions take tank hits from the traps? Or other players? Oh, I don't want to be that mean. Hardcore SSF ruthless.
In game, there'll be a very significant number of rooms you can do in a row.
Hardcore not fun for me because you don't like the campaign. In Path of Exile 1?
I mean, you can just keep on making it harder and harder.
Something
In
spears.
this first, version of it, you're going to in this first version of it, you only have to do 4.
By the way, oh, what can he take, Asher? So this is a shield. Evasion rating, mass and life, reflects physical limit set, dexterity. Okay.
You're going.
So monsters release deadly. Wait. Nice actually do this.
You can just keep on making it harder and harder. In this first version of it,
Nah, so like anyway. Monsters release deadly volatiles on deck. Oh, I don't like this at all. I don't like this, chat. I don't like volatiles. I don't like it when enemies die. I lost so many, well, not so many, but I lost hardcore characters. With after death.
You're going to in this first version of it, you only have to do 4 rooms to be able to ascend. But once again,
in hardcore, if you die once, you die forever, and character gets deleted, so you gotta start over the campaign again.
Another one to get in. So once again,
Well,
challenge. You'll want to be make sure that you're ready before you do this trial. Now, this particular one involves pushing this idol forward when you're near.
You know what would be fun? Maybe I'm going to make a tournament later. You know, like a hardcore PvP tournament. But the rewards should be like really, really awesome. You know? Damn. Actually sounds fun. No, not real. In-game. You mean, not IRL. No, violence is bad.
You can get close to it. Now, as you move it forward, it's also going to spawn these, trigger these monster elevators.
The wrestling mats.
Going to come down as well.
No, but I mean like in-game PvP and then a tournament, you know? Because you can trade items. So I will get some items and then I will be like, okay, you want this item? Join the PvP tournament. And let people go into PvP in hardcore. And only the winner takes it. And it's going to be a tournament. Because like if you lose, like your character's dead. I think it's going to be fun. But probably not level 100 TDP. Probably somewhere like... No limitations. Or maybe different cups.
Okay, we finally got there in the end.
Level 20 cup.
Alright. So,
And level
just like
40
in
cup.
Sanctum, there are also bosses that you can get as you go through here. The order of them is random, and so they can be very hard or relatively easy.
Maybe chat is going to help me.
And what things that you've picked beforehand. Before the boss, once again, the trial master will ask.
Yeah, it's not the bad. I think it's a lot of fun.
You want to pick something else.
I mean, probably not season 1 or 2, but maybe season 3, you know? For people to spice up their game.
That looks okay.
Protect them.
So here's one of the bosses you can find in the Trial of the Chaos God.
Oh, Chaos God.
Chaos will bring you to your end.
Okay, already looks cool. Yeah, so this blood orb, guys, if you go to pick for me, don't take the blood orb. Wow. He is good. Ow, ow, ow. Damn, this boss looks hard. Most of us will know what items are good anyway. I think at season 3 we all will know.
By the way, it's lethal.
Wow. Oh, did you saw this? The lightning ball and the dodge of the boss, I mean. That looked awesome. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, I already know. I already saw his skill. He's like, make me swoosh. And then he like, pew, pew, pew,
So
pew.
that's as far as we're going to go in this trial for now, at this low level. And of course, once again, you'd be able to ascend here if this is as far as you can get during the campaign.
Clock of Flame back in the menu. I know it's good.
So the Trial Master now is going to give you the rewards that you've earned throughout the trial. And there are a lot of rewards that are unique just to this trial. So let's go through a few of these that we've got here. Now, the first thing he's going to offer, one of the things we've got here is an item with a socket in it. Now, we removed gem sockets from PoE2, but we've actually re-added back sockets in a much more traditional way as things that you can put items.
Well, he's just saying a more traditional way. I mean, we just watched the video of Diablo. Like, I mean, to kinda. Let's continue.
And to get extra mods. So if you have a look down the left there, you can see a thing called a soul core. This is a soul core of thunder. If you put it in a weapon, you get lightning damage. If you put it in a shield, then an armor, you're going to get 10% lightning resistance. Now this is player power. You can't get any other way than sockets, and it's only unlocked through content that you can get through here. Now,
Oh, so late game content.
Add sockets to existing gear as opposed to using the sockets that are on gear that you get from here. You're going to have to use these things called Vile Orbs. Vile Orbs modify things unpredictably, and they work a little bit differently than they used to in PoE1. Now, the first thing I want to mention is the fact that these corrupt items, and what that
Okay, so listen carefully, guys. Listen carefully.
means is that after you've used this, you can't use it on another item again. So that's the last thing you want to do in your crafting step. This particular one here rolled with it got an extra mod. It got 14 to 20 chaos damage as an extra mod, as well as getting corrupted. But they can also do other things. So we'll use it on some of our gear here. You can equip it. I think you can leave it equipped. Yeah. So we're going to use it on his bow here. Okay, so that one gave him a socket. Excellent. So now he'll be.
So what actually changed? Give me 1 second, guys. Okay.
Going to use it on his bow here. Okay.
So I can tell you what changed. Nothing except of the. Yeah, only the socket changed. Nothing else. Everything else stayed the same. The damage stayed the same. Yeah, everything stayed the same. It's only the socket.
So that one gave him a socket. Excellent. So now he'll be able to upgrade his bow with a soul core to get an extra mod. So that's really valuable.
Yeah, actually, it's quite easy. Just drill a hole in there, and then you're like, hey, look at this. I have a socket in my item.
Valuable. Probably wouldn't have picked that one, but that's fine. That's what he had. Then we've also got, let's see in some other results. That one, okay, so that one just modified random mods on the item, so probably not good, not what you wanted. That's a bad outcome. On the other hand,
Oh, wait.
modified random mods on the item, so probably not good, not what you wanted. That's a bad outcome. On the other just modified random mods on the item, so probably not good, not what you wanted. That's a bad outcome.
Okay, give me a second. Okay,
On the other hand here,
so this changed as well. Only the thing that is red. Increase armor and evasion.
all right, added another mod, 25% increased armor and evasion. That's a very good roll.
Bring!
So effectively, the theme with these things is that you're going to get random results. You don't probably want to use them on the items that you've got equipped because they're likely to potentially damage them or make them worse. But there's player power that you can get from this that you can't get any other way. So it's something that you're definitely going
It completely breaks the item or gives you a desirable outcome. Yeah, we have to see like the chances, what it can give you.
to want to be able to do as you go through.
But after this, it seems like you can't do anything, so you always have to do this as the last step. And I think this is like the thing that is going to be like you really have to think about, do you really want to put this on the last item? And most of the time you will have to, if you want to improve even further, but yeah.
Through the game.
You would never use it there if you have a good... Well, you have to think about this. It's going to give you maybe a bonus that you otherwise will not get. So you technically want a good item. If possible, a second one as a backhand, just in case it's not getting good. And then you like increasing it, so you risk it for the biscuit.
Now, of course, because we got to the end here, we can also ascend. For this particular one, we might as well just ascend this character. So there's the Witch Hunter, which you could pick, and might as well just pick a simple node. I mean, there's a basic one that's just Culling Strike. You might as well pick that. We didn't actually plan to show this character class while we're doing here, so just, ascending while we're at it. Now, right there, you also see there's an entrance to the Trial Master's Tower. That's like a special endgame thing, which we're not going to show you, but effectively that's the pinnacle boss for this particular endgame grind. But let's talk a little bit about how you're going to expand on this. So if you go back to the start of the area, the keys not only have let you get into the trial, but they're also going to have mods on them as well that allow you to do different things. And just like the Vaal always have, we want to make sure that there's things that have both bonuses and downsides, that they're very double or nothing type culture. So this one here says sacrifice up to 10 exalted orbs to receive double that on trial completion. So effectively, you can go double or nothing on
guys, I'm going to
well.
keep the video going, but I'll be right back.
Player resistances, which is a pretty nasty downside. You can roll these things, and they have some pretty interesting mods on them. So yeah, it's one of those things you can specialize into in game. Now, of course, there's also uniques only available here, and various other things available here. So yeah, you're going to want to do that. So those are the two trials that extend into endgame that are during the campaign, but now we want to show you how the actual endgame, sort of primary endgame system itself works. So we're going to have to get a higher level monk to be able to show you that. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the plot of this, but this is where you're going to start in the endgame. And just like in PoE1, we have a thing called the map device that you're going to be using to travel around. But what you actually get when you click on the map device is going to be quite different. Now, the storyline here effectively is that there's corruption from the beast has spread across the land, and you're going to need to try and cleanse it. Now, this is actually an infinitely scrolling map that goes in all directions and contains all areas you can go to. You can go to each map only one time, so you're going to want to, you'll kind of try and want to find, interesting places to go. Now, this is the primary thing to explore after you finish the campaign, and there's all sorts of things to find on here. There's bosses, there's towers, there's beast corruption, there's rare areas with interesting mechanics, all sorts of in-game content that you can see these icons for around the place, and hideouts, roving merchants, and even cities. Now, effectively, in order to travel to one of these, what you're going to do is click on it, and then you can travel to it using a waystone. Now, these waystones effectively work like maps did in Path of Exile 1. You can craft them and so on as well. Once you've gone to the map, then what you're going to find is a randomly generated... Oh, okay, he immediately clicked the portal back. Classic mistake. So what you're going to find here is a randomly generated area, and we've really ramped the random generation up to 11 for this. Obviously, all the monsters here are also going to be random, and one thing I will mention is that the variety of monsters in PoE2 is a lot higher, and they have a lot more interesting abilities, which means that interesting combinations of them in maps can really produce interesting results. These particular ones are randomly picked here seem to be relatively simple, so I guess that point isn't that well made today, but that's all right. Now this monk is effectively the same kind of
Okay, I hope I
build
didn't miss
before,
much.
but it's a lot faster for in-game. But what we're going to do is we're going to amp it up a little bit further just to sort of see some of the kind of things that you can do in-game as well. So after we've finished clearing this pack, then we'll do that. So let's open up this, and what we're going to do
So
is
what
this
did
is
I
a
miss?
character that frees a lot of things, so we're going to add a cast on freeze gem here.
Okay.
And what that's going to mean is every time you freeze a monster, it has the ability to cast whatever a spell of your choice. In this case, we're going to cast.
Oh, this is awesome. If you freeze then, you also automatically cast another. Oh my, oh, you can. Chat, this is beautiful.
Frost Wall. And we're going to add Fortress and reduce cooldown to that so that we can cast them all the time. And they're going to go in a circle around the monster that got frozen. So effectively, because it's going to create a lot more frozen objects around the monster, when you use your Glacial Cascade, they're going to do a lot more damage and explode for a huge amount of
You can have so many combos there. It costs spirits though.
So the goal here is to cleanse the corruption on the map, and you do that by killing all the rares, and if there's a map boss, then killing the map boss as well. Now there are
Not
map
good.
bosses that can spawn in every map, but we've actually decided to not have a map boss every time you go to them, and instead you can see which areas have map bosses on the main map. What that means is that we've got the ability to have the map bosses be a lot more challenging, but also drop a lot more items as well.
I think a lot of players like Monk.
And you can also choose, you know, do I want to do
I think it's
bossing, or do I
really
want to
fun
just,
class.
grind maps and do other things. So
I'm
kinda
not
gives the
going to
player
play
that
it.
choice. So once you've completed the map, it'll be green on the in this area, and then effectively allows you to continue to explore. Now this map is kind of somewhat randomly explored,
But the witch.
so you know, don't concentrate too much on that. But effectively, you're going to be expanding outwards from the from
Yeah.
now, of course, the other thing you can do is craft maps with currency items. So if you get a
I mean, look at this map. This looks
the other
so
thing you can do is craft maps with
so
currency items.
big.
So
Look
if we
how
get
much stuff
you
there
know,
are.
an orb of transmutation here, we can use that on there to get a mod on the item. Now,
So
the
much content.
prefixes
You
are
like the
benefits to
necro
you,
play
and the
style the most?
suffixes are negatives
Yes.
to you. So this is something
Actually,
that changed a little
no.
bit how it works. So that means that you can
I
just
like,
a map that's just a straight up boon to you.
I like it if you
do
can
a,
summon
single if you turn it into a magic with only one mod. But of
wolves
course, if you turn it into
and
a ring, you're gonna
ravens
get a variety of
and
downside
bears
downsides, and all of them can
and
have
binds
different effects.
and
Once
cats
you've cleansed
and
corruption from
dogs
maps, then you can start to unlock the Atlas tree, which
and
allows you to
elementals
upgrade your progression system for this thing. So here's the Atlas tree
and
here.
ghosts.
Now I've actually made what we've actually done here is all the different types of content have their own trees.
Yeah,
Each
bears.
one of them's kind of like an ascendancy class, and then for that content.
Yeah.
But there's also a primary tree that you get just for killing maps. So there's
If
a
the
tree
druid
here
can
for,
summon bears, then yeah.
cleansing maps. There's also a tree for killing bosses, and then trees for doing other content on the Atlas as well. So you can kind of you don't have to choose between, or rather, you can choose to do a piece of content, but
Ghosts.
you're not.
Yeah, I like to summon
the other pieces of content
without
when you decide to do them later.
without that I have to use
So a random example here: 20%
corpses.
increased magic monsters in your maps.
But
Another
if I can
random
summon
example,
from scratch,
I don't know, 20% increased quantity of waste.
then I like it more.
Also like keystones.
So I also like to summon elementals, if possible.
Modifiers. It also adds extra. New maps have
Playing unique monsters in your maps have 1 to 2 additional modifiers. Wow.
1 to 2 additional modifiers. It also adds extra extra bonuses to drops as well. So these are the kinds of things that you can get on the tree, and that's one of the progressions.
So you make the enemy stronger, but then you're also getting stronger.
A lot of the other mechanics. So for example, here we see a map that's got this little hand icon, and that means that there are
Hellhound
breach
also
in this map. There's also the boss icon
counts.
there, which indicates there's a boss there as well. So we know there's a breach in there. You know, if you're looking,
You kind of
breaches,
have to
this is where you
try
want
the
to go.
druid.
You can effectively
You
always
turn
see
into
the
a bear.
content that you're going
Yeah,
to
I
roll
don't
to
like
face,
shapeshift.
in maps as you look around the
Actually,
tree. And there's also going to be mechanics
turning
adding
into a
more
wolf
later, which we'll talk
would
about
be
later.
nice.
So at the start, you'll just have to find them randomly, but later on you can add them to maps too.
You know,
So,
have
let's have a look
both.
at this. All right. So breaches. So Breach is another one of the League sequels
Ice and
from
Wolf.
Path of Exile 2, and it's also one of the sort of pinnacle like in-game content grinds that you'll be able to progress through. Breaches are effectively small fissures in reality that let you see into an alternate plane where demons roam free, and touching a breach will cause it to expand and reveal all the demons there that are lurking on that plane. So we're going to have to walk, unfortunately, directly there, which is going to trigger immediately, so you won't get to see what it looks like before you trigger it. But Octavian can do that now. So when you trigger it, and this is a horrible location for it, when you trigger it, all of these demons will start to come out of the other plane.
This looks awesome.
Now, as you kill the demons, it's going to extend the amount of time. If you're a very good player and you can kill demons very quickly, you can keep this going.
If you're a very good player, or if you're a bad player and you have a lot of summons and they kill stuff.
For a very long time and like cover like half the map with it. If you're not as good, or maybe your build just isn't as strong, then you're not necessarily going to be able to do that. So it's very hectic. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's ended already. So effectively, you have to try.
Oh, it's ending out. Did he just accuse the guy who's playing that he's bad? He says if you're a good player, you can cover half the map, and then now it's going back.
If you're very fast at kill speed, you're going to be able to take very good advantage of this particular mechanic. Now, breaches, of course, have their own rewards, which is why you're going to want to do them. Let's just have a look on the ground to see if we can find any. If you go back.
It's Mario DPS, yeah, and AoE, I guess.
Breach Splinter. Right. So one of the so there's a couple of things that they drop. So one of them is catalysts, and the other one is splinters. So which one should we talk about first? How about the catalysts? So catalysts are a reward you can get only from Breach, and effectively what they do is increase the quality of specific modifiers on jewelry. So this one here says, adds quality that enhances life modifiers on rings and amulets. So effectively this is going to allow him, if you use that on your ring or amulet, it'll allow you to increase the, it'll add life quality that'll make the life.
Oh my god. You don't have to. This is beautiful. If there is a max roll though, like, I hope there is a max, you know? I hope there is a range. But if there is a range, then this is so good, because now you don't rely only on luck. Like you can grind, like you can get luck so that you have to grind less. But then you don't have to. Oh my god, this is. You can get you. If it works like I think it works, then this mechanic is so beautiful.
Life roll on that amulet go up. This is an area of player power that sort of seems relatively subtle, but there's actually quite a lot to this that you can do. Breach also drops breach rings that are.
You know what I mean? Like, let me explain it. So he has 93 to max life, and this thing is giving life, and you getting life.
To increase the
The question is, the item is probably like a min roll and max roll. And sometimes you get an item that is like incredibly good and you want this, but it has like specific small roll. And you want to get it to max roll, but you don't want to farm another item of these because it takes so long to farm the item. This way you can just farm the gems and then increase it to the max stat.
Add life quality that'll make the life roll on that amulet go up. This is an area of player power that sort of seems.
If you craft your items in the endgame is, I think, like if this works like this, then it's amazing.
Relatively subtle, but there's actually quite a lot to this that you can do. Breach also drops breach ring.
Because then you kind of always want to farm them.
That are one of the best ring-based types because they allow quality to go up to 50, which means that you can use those as base types to create some really crazy rings for the end game as well. So that's one of the forms of player power you get from Breach. The other thing you're going to find in Breach that will sort of unlock the pinnacle boss are these Breach splinters. So if you collect 300 Breach splinters, it'll allow you to make a Breach stone that will allow you to go to the Breach domain where you can fight one of the pinnacle bosses. Now we're actually going to show you this pinnacle boss. for this particular league mechanic, just because it's nice to see one. But we're not going to show you any of the other pinnacle bosses in this demo. But all of the different types of league, all the different types of content that we have here, all have their own pinnacle bosses that we can do. Now, this is effectively a map that's a single large breach, and you're going to have to be able to race through the entire map in the amount of time to be able to get there and finish it. Now, this is the domain where demons actually live, and you can see the kind of creepy hand stuff they've got going on as their theme there. That's as it gets revealed.
And again, the music, the atmosphere. All the sick mechanics we are learning about are already in PoE1, but they revert PoE2. This is why I would like to get to the end game of PoE1. I think we learned a lot though today with this video. And it's not like it's easy. I see his life all the time. He's like using his flask a lot. Yeah, and the music is intense, guys. Louis, he can jump. Jumpy, jumpy, jump.
Looks like he did it. Alright, so now if we keep going here, we're going to get to the boss.
We that dreamed. We in nightmare.
Especially since, like, yeah, think about this, you collect 300 of the stones, and then you also have to get this one to him. So imagine you get 300 stones, and then you, like, lose or die or something like this. I would feel so bad. I think that the monk is one of the hardest classes to play. I think the mercenary is one of the easiest to play. I think the monk is one of the hardest. Because he's melee, but he's squishy. I think he has a really fast pace. So I think if you played Wukong, then you're going to have fun with him. Or if you played Elden Ring. Or Dark Souls or whatever. Yeah, the animations are amazing. It looks so intense. I think my heart couldn't keep up with this. I think it's a lot of fun. But I think a lot of players will die as monk. So prepare yourself for all the noobs that are going to complain that the monk is bad because they die a lot. The dying part is no question. Yeah, so someone having a hardcore monk. High level is probably going to be like, yeah. I mean, at least he's doing a lot of damage and a lot of AoE damage. But against bosses? Maybe there's a way to make it tanky though? Chroma, you saw this? He almost died. With one hit. Look at his life. And he, like, his indicator that he's going to do this. Sorry, I'm going to, like, go back. Is, okay, now you see it. Okay, he's clenching his fist, so he's going to kill soon. Now it's lighting up, so you know, okay, now it's time. And look at his life. Let me actually make this static speed. Alright. You saw this? I mean, okay, it was 2 hits. I'm sorry, I missed it. He got hit 2 times. First time his shield gave back. Yeah. Yeah, lost lots of damage. But also, it's a pinnacle boss, so I think it's supposed to have a lots of damage. Like the splinters, for instance, they don't deal so much damage. The head was also fine. Oh my god. So his shield? His shield was somewhere here. Wow. I think if he was dead left or right, he's dead. He left busting in a fan of. So Louis, are you going to switch your minions to monk? I think. Oh my, look. Sorry that I'm pausing all the time, but look at this. He's evading. He is shuddering. Didn't catch him. And he catched him. Look at his life. Yeah, it's really fast-paced. So I think if you like fast-paced games or game style, the monk is your choice. I don't know yet. I hadn't actually seen all the characters yet, to be honest. Or all the classes. I'm just saying for what I see, I think Mercenary is easy game mode. And Monk is hard. Damn. That was sweet.
So that's an example of a pinnacle boss, and we're not going to show you the rest of them, but that's just kind of give you a flavor for what an in-game pinnacle boss might be like.
Yeah.
But just like all of the pinnacle bosses, when you defeat them, you're going to get points for the ascendancy tree. Sorry, not ascendancy tree, for the Atlas.
Just rate one, but I already know which is going to be OP. The warrior. They always make them strong. They always make them first weak, and then people complain, and then they make them strong.
For that particular content. So this
You
is the
think
breakdown
monk,
here.
even if it's
So the
F,
idea
bananas?
is that you kill the boss,
Fair.
you make the
Good luck then.
whole league
And
more difficult, and then you can.
no one
defeat
said
the
that
boss
he's
again at a
ass.
higher difficulty and get more points. So the first point here you're going to see is +1 to twisted domain difficulty.
Mora,
which
it's
is gonna
bad for
kick in.
bossing. As far as I know, you can have up your shield. and it negates the damage to 0. And you only break your stance when he hits you, I think, multiple times. So you can just evade, attack, dance, deflect. Also, you are tanky. And you just saw how cast his life regened with the healing potion. So I think that the warrior is actually going to be not that hard, especially in late game.
Breach harder. It says here difficulty causes monsters to have increased damage and toughness as well as making them
Yeah,
more
DPS
experienced.
probably. Yeah.
But there's also effectively specific nodes that will give you interesting changes to that league mechanic. So for example,
Collapse hands in your maps have 25 chance to be guarded by a pack of magic monsters. Breached in your maps have 50% more collapse hands.
classed hands in your maps have a 25% chance to be guarded by a
Oh
pack of
yeah,
magic monsters.
thanks for
Breaches in your
reading.
maps have 50% more classed hands. Those things are effectively like breach chests that you find as the breach expands there. So that's like a bonus that you might choose to pick. There's lots of other ones here that you could pick as well. And as I said, each of the different types of content all have their own trees here that you can do your own stuff with. So that is actually, wait, there's one more thing that we forgot to tell you about, and this is kind of important, which is tablets. Okay, right, I should have gone over that earlier, so we'll just do it now. So effectively, right, when you do a breach in your maps, one of the things that you might find, and this is kind of important, are tablets. Now, tablets are items in your inventory that you can use with these towers. If you open your inventory there and have a look at just find a good place. So when you play breaches, you might find these breach tablets. And what this does is effectively adds more breaches to maps in the vicinity. So this says add 8 maps in range. 8 maps in range contain breaches, and breaches in your map spawn an additional rare monster. So if you open a tower, it gives you this interface. You can put the tablet in there, and then when you use it, it affects the local area and adds a bunch of breaches around the place. So what that means is that all the content is self-reinforcing. If you want to play breaches, then you're going to find this, these tablets. You're going to use those to add more breaches to maps in the area and also boost.
I didn't quite understand it, but if you like something, then you're going to get it and you like it a lot more.
What the breaches are doing, and then which will get you more tablets, which will get you more and more and so on. So it's effectively a way to, if you're choosing breach is the thing I want to be doing, then that means that you can effectively self-sustain breach for as long as you want to, and sort of effectively turn your map into that. This is true for all the different mechanics that you can find on the Atlas. You know, you've got ones here for Ritual and Expedition and Delirium right there.
Delirium.
All right,
I like the word.
Kind of important. So
Delirium.
Okay, obviously, actually, one thing I of course failed to mention is that there are uniques you only get from that pinnacle boss, of course, and so on. There are uniques you only get once you get the difficulty of that pinnacle boss up to a certain level. So of course, once again, each endgame grind has to have a way to expand it, a way to make it more difficult.
The map looks so big. That's so crazy.
Rewards that are specific to that. So next, let's talk about Expedition. So once again, we've done another.
You know, the only thing that I don't like, and I don't know why they haven't changed it. They had so much time to change it. Why do, like in every game so far, why is the like why are we limited to such little space? Why don't we have I think Diablo 4 has it, where you had like some different tabs for some different items. Like, why do I have to keep this? Where I also want to keep like items or loot and stuff like this. Like, give me a tab, the tablets. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, same with this hats. Tap something, I don't know, I click here, and then I see here my heads. Yeah, yeah, like, yes and no. Like, yes, extra inventory space, but not inventory space for everything. Just like for specific things. Like, if I can interact with the item, for instance, like these things, but I don't want to keep these things all the time on my inventory, have a click and then like open this up, like this one, And then I have like these things in here. Or tablets, because I can't interact with anything with the tablets except of the item here. Have it that I click here, and then I get a new tab where my tablets are. Or, yeah. You put all currency on your inventory to the currency stash. That is amazing. I hope they're going to add this at some point. Because no one likes this, but this is how endgame looks like. And then you run something, and then you have 1-2 items, and then it's full. Same goes like tactics are 1. I now have like skill gems and stuff like this in my inventory. I don't like this.
A leak from PoE1. This one's Expedition. We'll put a map in here, and just to make it a little bit easier, we're not going to actually do the rest of the map. We're just going to do the Expedition part of it. So what Expedition is effectively there are some Kalgurans, a group of people called Kalgurans, who are trying to dig up some old burial sites from their ancestors, and the goal is try to get Verisium relics that are left over from their past. If you've played PoE1, the mechanic is quite similar. Effectively, what you're going to see is all of these markers here on the ground that are going to tell you whereabouts.
Wow, that looks cool.
And they're going to dig these things up using explosives. So effectively, you have to choose carefully where you're going to place the explosives in order to be able to get the most amount of bonus. There are also these things called remnants here that give you both bonuses and downsides for doing them. After you blow up the remnant,
Beware if you have stash tabs, the ones to buy, it's easy to organize it.
So effectively,
yeah, but it's not quite what I mean. I understand what you mean, but that's not quite what I mean.
Once he's done that, he will be able to detonate them, and
like it's not about having more items, and then you can place armor in here, and then you can like place your other stuff in there. I think especially in the stash, it's fine-ish. But in your inventory that you move around, I don't want to see endgame keys stuck there, but maybe like another tab that is only designed there. And then again, if you click on it, it's opened up another tab. If you can interact it with items like upgrades, or it just switches tab if you can't interact with items.
Now he's choosing.
I get like, yeah, okay, thank you.
Use based on his build. He wouldn't want, for example, to make all the monsters immune to ice, because that would completely destroy him.
Yeah, exactly. Like before with aspects.
There's like chests, and there can often be caverns and things like that.
I think.
Once you get to the end game system, the pinnacle content for this league, there's going to be bosses and so on to find and things like that.
8 more days.
Monsters primarily is to get these Verisium artifacts. You can see one there that says exotic coinage, but there's various other things like that on the ground. They also have these chests that drop items. There's a broken circle artifact, and oh look, a unique, nice. You might as well identify it. I don't know which one that is. Let's have a look. This is just unscripted, by the way. Apron of Emerian. Bleeding you inflict is aggravated, which says that aggravated bleeding does 200% extra damage. Right, cool. So this is a bleed build type unique. Actually, whatever. Anyway.
Oh my god. Did you just saw what happened? Did you just saw what happened? That is amazing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, I have to watch this again. Did you just saw? Oh my god. So he had this one.
Of Emerian.
Then he
aggravated.
Looked what is aggravated. Then he had like this thing, and then he just dragged it. That looks cool.
Aggravated bleeding does 200% extra damage. Right, cool. So this.
I hope you can open multiple things.
A bleed build type unique. Actually, whatever. Anyway,
Beware when you saw it, there was one of the things you didn't like was the inventory management.
And once again, I'm not in the interest of time.
Yeah.
Too much into this.
Same.
But probably one of the more interesting ones is using crafting with a guy called Rog. So we'll do that one here just so we can have a look. So Rog effectively has a shop where he'll sell you different items. You can re-roll it using the currency as well. But once you find something that you want to kind of start with, which maybe you don't, there we go. Then what you can do is after you buy it, he'll offer to do various crafts. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So before you click anything, so what this is going to do is remove all prefix modifiers from the item. So if we like the prefixes, we probably want to skip this one and not do it. So let's skip this one. We got the same one again, which is very annoying. So okay, so I guess we just have to do it then. Then re-roll suffix modifiers. Now there's quite a lot of different modes here, but effectively you get various ability to modify the item.
Yeah.
I think this one is going to turn out to be completely crap. Remove a single modifier with the lowest modifier level. Sure, I guess you can just take it. Anyway, that was a pretty crap example, but effectively this is a crafting system that allows you to make some pretty interesting items. Now, the other thing you're going to get from expeditions, other than the tablets that allow you to do more of them, is what else do we have here? Right, we'll just do the logbooks next. Okay, right, so we've got logbooks. So if you can get a logbook, it's effectively allows you to do a super expedition, which is like an area that has only
Super
These
expedition.
logbooks have various mods and things as well. And then once you go there, then you can do an expedition that has a lot more. You get a lot more dynamite to make it a much larger string. So there's a lot more strategy.
More power, more boom. My explosion!
Also, if you
Yay!
there's also things like bosses and uniques and like special underground areas and things like that to find. So there's just quite a lot of stuff hidden under the ground that you want to do. So at least find an underground area maybe. Yeah, is that one there? Okay, right.
This looks fun. Is this also Path of Exile 1? Explosions! Exploding kittens! Bam!
And then
Bam.
if you detonate it, you're going to get the string of monsters, which you can try and keep up with. Although I hear the balance of this league is a bit wrong at the moment, so he might get one shot. So we'll see.
The balance is wrong.
As the remnants trigger, all of the monsters are going to get harder. So they might get pretty hard by the end, even if they're easy at the start.
Imagine you beat like a pinnacle boss, and then like a zombie, and it's like hitting you and you like that. I like the shield design on the enemy. It's a mage with a shield. That is cool. I think a lot more games should approach effectiveness of archetypes, if it makes sense what I mean. Like, I was reading a lot of books, and it was always the same.
Killing those guys, we'll just quickly show you one of the things that he found. So there was a sub area down here where called Hidden
Like
Aquifer.
dwarves had axes, and elves had spears. But then I was like thinking, if you're a dwarf and you are a spell, don't you want a weapon that is like long, like a spear? Because you have like the disadvantage of the distance that you can strike. And then you get yourself like another axe that is like super melee.
Completing the most difficult content in this end game is going to
Or like Archer.
the ascendancy tree, make it more difficult, add more of them, that kind of thing.
Oh, he almost died.
Let's go on to the next one.
So usually second weeks after league started. Ugh.
Oh, you might as well show the Atlas tree as well. So there's an example here which makes the number of explosives to 1, so that you only get one really large explosive rather than having to do a whole string of them in your maps. Maybe just a randomly interesting one. All right, let's have a look at the next
That
one,
looked like
Ritual.
corrupted blood. Is corrupted blood something that
Ritual is one of
explodes?
the other in-game grinds. When you enter a map with this mechanic, you're going to find these ritualistic circles through the area. Oh, there's one right there. Great. So when you kill monsters inside them, it effectively grants the monsters as tribute. And so when you summon the ritual, all the monsters that you killed within that ritual circle will spawn again. Why does that root spider have no eyes?
Nice.
Oh, it's breach as well.
Perhaps that's always
Sorry
annoying.
about that. Now, of course, because the league mechanics overlap, you would be able to kill breach monsters inside the circle and summon them again by with the ritual.
Oh my god. That is crazy. Oh my god. Rituals with altar. Yeah. Do this. So now we already know. We definitely going to focus a little bit of bridging.
All right, so when you use the ritual, it effectively closes you off into a small area, and you have to fight all the monsters that you killed in that circle.
Ah.
But the key thing is that there's it empowers them. There are multiple rituals through the area. So after each time you do this, you get a type of points called tribute that you can then spend on items. But if you're willing to risk it and make the rituals even
Risk it for the
powerful, you can
biscuit.
go to another ritual circle, kill more monsters inside of it, and then you'll be able to make the it'll summon both the ones from this circle and from the subsequent circle as well, making the rituals very, very tough by the time you get to the end. Oh, there's one last monster over there.
So how many rituals can you make? That is like the question that I would like to know.
All right. So then when you click on the ritual,
Rituals.
it'll open the screen here, which allows you to spend tribute. Now, I don't think we want to spend too long on this, but effectively, this is the reward mechanic for ritual, and the more tribute you get, the more things you get. Jesus
Wait,
Christ,
I saw this in Path to Exile 1.
Map is beyond. Wait, is that because it was a corrupted map? Okay, right. So because this is a corrupted map, by the way, every time you kill monsters, it's got this mechanic called Beyond, where it leaves these little orbs behind, and then demons can get summoned from them when you kill them. This is one of the random corruption outcomes you can get due to beast corruption in a map.
Damn.
Right, so this is tribute. You can buy items. None of these look particularly amazing, but do you have an omen in there? No. Okay, so in that way, we've got the end of the inventory. Right, so one of the things you're going to be looking for this are omens. So omens are a high-level crafting
Omen.
item that you can use to make
Omen.
So let's have a look at what they do.
Cool,
So
man.
an item here where we might like the prefixes but thinks the suffixes are crap. Normally what you might want to do is either re-roll them with a Chaos Orb or maybe remove them with an Orb of Annulment. But you can't normally choose which mod to remove. This is an omen of dextral annulment. What that does is while this item is active in your inventory, your next Orb of Annulment will remove only suffix modifiers. So if you use that, and then use an Orb of Annulment, it'll only remove suffixes, not prefixes. And if you want to remove another suffix, he's got another one there. So this is a way of kind of doing meta crafting on items that allow you to make targeted changes. And with this,
Wow.
pretty broken stuff. There's another one here that says, while this item is active in your inventory, your next Exalted Orb will add 2 modifiers. That just effectively is a double Exalt. This kind of thing is like a pretty simple one, but there are a lot of these and they do very interesting things. So that's just a sort of interesting way of crafting. It's one of the types of player power you can get only from this league. Of course, like
Wow.
game mechanics, there's an uber boss for this as well, and killing that boss is going to get you points in the... we don't actually have to go there, but it will get you points for the Atlas tree for that league. So that's one of the other grinds as well. Right, next up. We'll
So
talk
I
about,
see there is a
Delirium.
lot of grinds, but
So in
it's
Delirium
super
maps,
good
your
that you
minus can
can
be affected by how
customize
mysterious
whatever
things
you
are,
want
which
and
can
what
be
you don't
resolved.
like and like.
You see these mirrors, and when you go through them, it kind of affects your mind and starts creating
Yeah.
these nightmare creatures, as well as affecting, kind of giving these strange things for others.
Yeah, a lot of omens for crafting. Baby craft.
So there's the Delirium right there.
Oh, I saw this in Path of Exile 1. That
As you
was
can
so
see, it affects
cool.
your mind, and you get this like mysterious mist that goes to the area. It both spawns new monsters as well as affecting the existing monsters in interesting ways. Now, the main thing you're going to be looking for in this league are called distilled emotions. Hopefully, one drops, and we can have we can show you what they do.
I mean, I can have like omens for like DDP, hardcore PvP tournaments. If you want the omen, you have to fight till the end. Or you're not gonna need omens anymore. I
But
can
if
be
not, we've got
you.
the inventory.
I mean, either way, your problem is solved. Either you get them,
Now, if you're able to keep up
or you don't need them.
with this mechanic, then you might be able to cover the entire map in it, in which case you can get some bonuses on map bosses as well.
But I saw this in Death of Exile 1 that was fine. Fun. Oh, I see there is a chest symbol.
Alright, so there's some distilled emotions. We have distilled ire and distilled paranoia. Now, what this allows you to do is craft mods onto your amulet that grant you passives from your passive tree. So if you open up the crafting window for that, so effectively, if you put your amulet in there, then if you do a combination of 3 different distilled emotions, then it will allow you to get a bonus passive, what's it called?
Also, it's
Notable from the
debate.
passive tree.
It's
Sorry,
better to
getting a
sell
little bit
those and bought your
confused there.
gears and crafting yourself, but it's
a
cheaper.
bonus notable on the passive tree. So that one's quick recovery, 40% increased stun and block recovery, regenerate 10% of life over 1 second when stunned. Now, once again, this is
Takes
a type of player
sense.
power you only get from here, but you can also
Oh, sorry. I think it depends. I think it depends what the economy is going to be.
use them on maps as well. So if you put them on maps, then it allows you to add bonus mods to them to the map, in addition to the rare mods that you can normally get. So it's another form of juicing that you can do for in-game as well. Right, so that is Delirium. Now, all of these are
Wait a second. What?
normally get. So it's another player power you only get from here, but you can 1 second when stunned. Now, once again, this is a type of player power you only get from here, but you can also use them on maps as well. So if you put them on maps, then it allows you to add bonus mods to them to the map.
Players in area are 29% awake. You don't see it. There we go. Players in area are 29% delirious. So you're going to get drunk. Drunk. There we go.
In addition to the rare mods that you can normally get. So it's another form of juicing that you can do for in-game as well. Right, so that is Delirium. Now, all of these different mechanics from the different in-game grinds kind of can be added with each other. If you open up the map, you can kind of start to add multiple mechanics overlapping with those towers. You can juice maps with, the thing like mechanic we just said. You're allocating points in the Atlas tree. Effectively, altogether, it allows you to really boost from the bottom of the Atlas to the top of the Atlas to really improve the content that you're doing to the point that it can get pretty crazy. But there is one more. In-game grind, which I'm not going to really talk too much about, but it relates to that that little object there. So effectively, this is where the Uber Pinnacle boss is, and we can travel to the entrance, but we won't be able to actually get in because we don't have meet the requirements yet. But effectively, there
Uber
are
bus.
around the map various ways to get keys to be able to enter this area. It's kind of mysterious, and this is the hardest content in the game. So when you play the game, you'll have to try it out. But effectively, inside this area, you'll
you know, if I see Uber bus, I'd be like,
inside there,
Uber bus.
be able to fight the Uber Pinnacle boss as well. And for the sort of hardest challenge in the game, that is something that I think players really enjoy.
I like Uber bus.
So this
Okay.
is a sort of basic overview of how the end game works. There was quite a lot of information there.
Hardest content.
Quite a lot of sequels to leaks from PoE1 as well. But you can sort of see, I guess, the beginnings of a system that we're going to be expanding a lot over time. As we add more of these PoE1 League sequels, and as we add more content that leagues to PoE2, we've effectively got a lot of space here to be able to add as much to this in-game as possible. The Atlas tree, with all its different little what you might call the ascendancy kind of cluster type things for all the different content. All of these things, adding all of these things, we're going to add one every time we add a league to effectively allow you to scale this stuff. And so that means that there is a large capability to have a lot of content here. So that sort of shows you, I guess, as a quick rundown of the content in early access. Even though it is early access, there's a lot of content here. There's a lot to do in endgame. There's the campaign plus the crawl version of the first half of the campaign plus the crawl version of the campaign. And all of that is, I guess, going to be coming out on December 6th. So how do you get access? Well, the answer is to that is that we're going to be releasing a bunch of supporter packs in the relatively near future when we announce all this content. And the lowest supporter pack, the $30 one, contains a key to get access to the early access for Path of Exile 2. So if you buy one of those, you'll both get points, which you can use to spend to buy, whatever it is in the cosmetic store that you want to buy, as well as get access to PoE2. And any of our existing supporters who have spent more than, I think it's around $500, basically the highest tier supporter pack in the past, will also get access for free as well. So we're expecting to, because
$500. That is a lot of money.
Effectively, it is a game the size of most retail games that come out. We would expect like a pretty significant number of players to be able to play, but there's still a lot of work for us to do. Obviously, we've got a lot more content to add, and a lot more things to do, there's by the time we're finished, I'm hoping that PoE2 will be, as we get to release, will feel like it's as large as PoE1 is easily.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for you today, and hopefully you enjoyed it. So thank you very much.
If you get the key nice, it should wait to stash tap sale. So first of all, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for watching. We got to watch this video next time. Everyone who's watching this via YouTube, because I'm going to upload it there. I hope you enjoyed this. And even though the video got a little bit longer than it initially was, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and check out Twitch, where I live stream and be part of the Path of Exile 2 experience when it comes out. Okay. Now I'm going to cut the video. So let's see. If you get the key, you should wait for stash tap sales to use your 300 coins. This makes sense. Yes, the $30 pack gives 300 coins you can use for stash tap. Check out Twitch YouTube vlogs. Yeah, exactly. Oh, this YouTube procs. Quack, 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 quack. YouTube proggies. Proggies. YouTube proggies.